Fine, fine, I say. I guess we are all done here. Then, shall we get moving? Should we get moving? Hold on, Kate says. Layla still needs to get her new backpack enchanted. We can't just walk with these bags in our hand all the way to the palace. Alright, Darren says. Give me the backpack. I'll enchant it right away. As soon as Darren is done with the backpack and Layla puts all of her clothes inside it, we all leave the market area and we make our way towards the castle of Thelius once more. As we walk, we begin to tell Kate and Layla about everything that happened with Aiden while they were shopping. I also take this opportunity to give everyone more details about my private discussion with Aiden during his time freezing spell. Aiden said he'd give you the power to stop the calamity threatening to destroy the cities, Darren says. That doesn't make any sense. Didn't he tell us that he would be destroying the cities himself? That's not what he said, I say. His exact word was the calamity would happen as a direct result of his own actions. Isn't that kind of saying the same thing though? Hedrick says, no, not really. I say, the way he phrased it didn't seem like the destruction of the cities would be his main purpose, more like the side effect of whatever he's planning to do. Let's say, for example, that Aiden knows for a fact that he will be forced to fight Tarath personally before the end of the tournament. If the dragon is to be believed, then such a fight would completely erase the continent, which would most likely erase all Varathia cities from the map. Damn, Darren says. You might be right. With the dragon declaring war against all the cities, Aiden announcing the return as the creator, I wouldn't be too surprised if the two leaders of the armies ended up clashing against the end of the tournament. That's not all, I say. Aiden specifically told us that this calamity would only happen shortly before the end of the tournament. This means that he is expecting the tournament to play a part in triggering this calamity somehow. Maybe the dragon will be waiting for most of the tournament's participants to die out before he begins his attack, Hardrick says. That's definitely possible, I say. I'm guessing that the cities of Varathia already have their own defenses against Tarath's army, and he also got the animals to worry about. It would be a pretty bad idea for him to unleash the armies now, when there are mages wandering around the continent capable of slaughtering hundreds of monsters without much effort. We should let the king know about this, Darren says. He might want to do some preparation in case these events really come to pass. Yeah, I say. Although I'm not sure if we would actually do anything to protect the city, even if we knew about this stuff in advance. A few flying machines and some mages aren't going to be a lot of help in breaking up a fight between a Stillwater and a dragon, I say. I sigh before I continue. I don't know why I'm getting the feeling that we are going to have to deal with that dragon in one way or the other if we want there to be any organizers left alive to hand us the prize at the end of the tournament. Oh, Darren says, and you're going to defeat the dragon by yourself too, just like you said you'd say about the cities. You got a busy schedule ahead of you, I tell you that. Shut up, I say. I know I can't do it all by myself. I only said that on the spur of the moment because Aiden was pissing me off with his defeatist attitude. Luckily, I've got a friend who's a well-known legendary mage that might be able to lend me a hand. If things get too rough, he can't cast a proper shield spell to save his life, and he sucks at magical theory, but at least he's decent enough with the sword and shield. Hey now, is there any way to ask someone for a favor? Darren says with a grin. Where's the head bow? Where's the pleading tone in your voice? Remember, you're speaking with one of the most renowned heroes in the world here. Bow my head and ask for help. Fine, I'll do it all by myself then. Hey, you're the hero, not me. Isn't saving cities supposed to be a job? You know what? On second thought, screw the cities. Hey, you're a hero, not me. Isn't saving cities supposed to be your job? Sure, Dan says. But the whole idea I had when I came to this tournament was to focus on actual tournament, so I could do a better job as a hero once I've won the Magium, remember? Since I get what you're saying, the situation in these lands is much worse than I thought it would be, and from what I understand, Thelius would be the one of the better cities in Varathia. Something definitely needs to be done. In either case, Kate says, we shouldn't rely too much on Aiden's promise to give Barry powers. I highly doubt he would. And, yeah, I highly doubt he would. I mean, he probably might step in for a thing or two, but yeah, nothing too much. We should rely on Aiden's probably to give Barry powers if he succeeds in his task. The terms of this agreement are much too vague, and Aiden could very well change his mind at any moment. I agree, Darren says. But given the vague information we have about this so-called calamity, the only way we can be certain that it doesn't happen is by taking care of both Aiden and the dragon, and that is definitely not going to be an easy task. Don't worry, I say. I know what kind of tricks Aiden using now. I'm sure I'll have them all figured out in no time. I haven't been studying magic all my life for nothing. Ha, Araka says. Now there's something I would love to see. Aiden getting beaten by his own tricks. Let's not be too hasty, Darren says. Barry only figured out 2 of his tricks so far. I'm guessing Aiden would know hundreds of them after his long life as a Stillwater. Anyway, I'd say we have talked enough about Aiden. Let's pick up on our pace. We have spent quite a bit of time in the marketplace. We better hurry up if we don't want to leave the king waiting. It takes us about another hour to finally reach the front gate of the king's palace. The king's servants are waiting for us at the entrance. As soon as we get within hearing range of him, he announces that Gollum is currently waiting for us inside. As we make our way into the throne room, you see the gnome is sitting on the floor on all fours with a wrench in his hand, trying to adjust the height of his throne. Interesting. Just a minute, Gollum says as he tightens one of the last bolts at the base of his throne and gets up from the ground. He gives us one quick look. I see that the young Lassethi girl has decided to join your group, Gollum says, and then he turns to Layla. I'm very sorry about your father. He was, I didn't know Layla's father died. I don't remember that. I believe he was caught, but they never mentioned that he died. Yeah, they never mentioned that. I'm pretty damn sure they talked about like he was caught and then she escaped. But that's about it. I don't remember him dying. I'm very sorry about your father. He was a respectable inventor. He did not deserve the fate that he got. Unfortunately, there was no way for me to intervene in his trial, even if I suspected this evidence was forged. For what it's worth, I made sure to cancel his pursuit as soon as he escaped the city, so he at least won't need to watch his back on his way to Ollender. So he did escape. Okay, thank you, Layla writes, not knowing exactly what else to say. You're here for the documents, yes, Gollum says, now turning to us. Follow me to my private room, I'll stamp the papers for you there. He goes to pull the lever behind the throne, and the path towards his secret subterranean room opens up once more. Just like the last time when we have visited the castle. Barry, as usual, the throne room is in your care until I return, Gollum says. Yes, your highness. Right, I forgot the other Barry. The king's servant says. Barry? Layla writes, looking very confused. Yeah, that's what the king's servant is named, Hardwick says. Well, we go down the secret stairs towards the secret room. Isn't that hilarious? Been joking about it for hours after the last time we came here. I see, Layla writes. I mean, that's not that funny that you have to do it for hours. Okay. I see, Layla writes. When we reach the subterranean chamber, the king lays out a few papers on his desk, and he begins to stamp them one by one. So Darren says while looking towards Gollum, I think there's something we should let you know about. We ran into Aiden on our way to the castle, and he told us that there will be a calamity shortly after the end of the tournament, or before the end of the tournament, yeah. That will destroy all the cities in Varathia, a calamity that will be triggered by his actions. You're suspecting that he might get into a fight with the dragon Tyrath, which is what will cause all the damage. I see, Gollum says, as he takes a short pause from stamping the documents to think about what Darren said. Well, if this calamity is indeed of the magnitude that you describe, then it would serve no purpose to fortify our defenses. The only way we could survive such a thing is to make sure it doesn't happen at all. He didn't tell you that this calamity would involve the dragon. No, Darren says. But implied that destroying the city is not his actual purpose, even though their eradication, why did I struggle on that one? Eradication would happen due to his actions. The fight between him and the dragon is the only thing we could think of that would make sense given these circumstances. Gollum says. As he rubs his chin, there is something that I don't fully understand here. Perhaps you could clarify it for me. What exactly is your affiliation with Aiden? He has personally intervened to save your lives before, and I see that you know him well enough to have private discussions with him, but I can't tell in what way you're connected to him. Have any of you been acquainted to him before you came to Varathia? No, Darren says. We all met him here for the first time. Then why is he so fixated on you, not on any of the other participants? Gollum says. Surely you cannot be the only unique group that has joined this tournament. Actually, for all we know, he may also be visiting other groups of mages. He seems to really enjoy messing with Darren's head. From what I understand, it may be because I'm a half Lassethi. Yeah, that's true. I'm very confused. Why is he that interested in a half Lassethi? Well, maybe he's interested in the device, the stat device that I use, but Layla uses it too, so I don't know why. Oh, Layla is a full Lassethi actually. She's not a half Lassethi. Yeah. From what I understand, it may be because I'm a half Lassethi. Half Lassethi are certainly rare find nowadays, Gollum says. Well, why do you think this would be enough or a reason for him to pick you up? Pick you over all of the other powerful mages that joined this tournament? Well, I say, he did say once that he liked the diversity in our group. Maybe it's not just me, but also about everyone else being rather unique cases that won't find anywhere else. Well, you put it like that, I suppose you could be right, Gollum says. After all, it's not every day that you meet a group that contains an artificial mage, a girl fused with a banshee, a giant masked as a dwarf. In either case, unless Aiden actually decides to tell you his reason, you're probably not going to have a lot of information to base your assumptions on, given how little you have interacted with him so far. He pauses. Very well then, Kalamek says, let me just finish stamping these papers and you're free to go. He then stamps 2 more documents and he hands them over to us so we can each take a look at them. There you go, the king says. These papers should be enough to absolve you of all your crimes, no matter where you go in Varathia. Now if there's anything else you need from me, I'll be resuming my work on the Lessethi device that was supposed to send you to the tournament related to the tournament's objective. What? Lessethi device that was supposed to send you the information related to the tournament's objectives telepathically. I'm trying to get it fixed for more than a week, but I still can't figure out what is wrong with it. So you can imagine how frustrating this has been for me. The king then wishes us all safe travel and make our way back up to the throne room where the king's servant was waiting for us. I'm amazed we didn't mention to him that, you know, some guy came up to us in the Colosseum and told us to like spy on him and whatnot.